Ready or not, we are live. Welcome everyone to our daily success call for, I was about to say Monday. It's Wednesday already. Wednesday, the 23rd of March, 2022. John Lavinia here with you, as well as the amazing Lana from the UK. I see Stu here. There's Dora. There's Deborah. She's driving her car. Who else is on camera? Few people have the guts to be on camera today. There's Vivian, looking brilliant as always. Joseph, good to see you, sir. And light crowd. Nobody else is on camera. We do have a few other people tuning in right now. Welcome. Glad you're all here. Maybe we need to send out more emails. Maybe that's the thing, Lana. Maybe they didn't get the memo and we got to crack down on these damn accountability reps to get 10,000 more emails out because these guys aren't getting enough emails. What do you think, Lana?
Yeah, even that, or they're getting too many emails and don't know where to go next.
Right. You know what? Got a couple ideas that Lana and I will introduce to you here today, but one that I just heard come out of my mouth, which is email, which is what? A form of communication. So I want to give some tips today for people. This is just more on the operations and logistical side. We're not going to get into philosophy yet. But here's the thing. You're all on the internet now, right? Welcome. Glad you're here. Get ready for endless, ceaseless communication. All right. So the whole basis of sales and marketing via whatever methods and technologies or lack of technologies is what? Communication. Okay. And communication is something that can flow into your inbox or your phone rings or whatever. And it can also flow out. Now, a lot of people get the balance really off on this. In fact, I'm guilty of this. I inflow a lot more than I outflow. I take in a lot more communication than I send out. In fact, this thing that we're doing right now, the daily success calls and having these conversations, is a way for me to balance that. Okay, because I get a lot of communication. All right, but I also got to put out communication. There is my friend Grant Cardone. I don't know if any of you know Grant, but he says best known beats best. Best known beats best. So you don't necessarily have to be the best, just be the best known. And sure enough, if you follow any of his work, he's everywhere, right? Every social media platform, everywhere you go, there he is. Best known beats best. Is his content the best? I think not, but that's just my opinion. Okay, he probably thinks it is. Fine, whatever, but still best known. So what does that come down to? That comes down to communication. So you're going to notice that you're going to get a lot of communication coming into your inbox and whatever channels that you're tuned into, social media and whatever. My suggestion is to compartmentalize that communication so that you can separate the wheat from the chaff, and you could say, all right, here is useful, good, and right information because John Lavinia is sending it to me. Therefore, I listen to John because he's awesome and he always says good stuff. And so that could go into a folder that says John is awesome, all right, or business material, or the answers to the secrets of life, or however you think of me, right? So there's that. And then here's all the other communication from 10 million different sales pitches about stuff that probably is nothing more than shiny objects that you don't need to concern yourself with. And you can then have all of those things floating out in, here's the inbox, let's say, okay, here's the important stuff box. Here's the rest of the inbox. And then when you're done sorting the important stuff, you can even set up rules to do this. Like I use a Mac, right? So I've got Apple Mail is the email client. That's the software. And, I've got rules, right? So when Lana sends an email, it can automatically put it into the Lana box and make a star on it and flag it this or that, right? I mean, I could set up automations like that. And then when I'm done and, just browsing the rest of the inbox, to see here's all the other communication. Here's everyone else's agenda for me that day. I'm going to go ahead and Command A on a Mac, Control A on a PC, and then click the delete button. Okay, so Command A means select all. Delete. And I got my time back. And I got, most importantly, my attention back, because you only get so much attention. And you're going to spend it. Can't save it for tomorrow. You're going to spend it somewhere. So that brings me to the next idea, just in terms of operations and logistics, is touch it once. This is a policy that you can put in. You can put it in on yourself. You could say, here's the command, and I shall now follow it. And that the command is touch it once. If you clicked it, complete whatever that cycle is, and then you're done. Don't touch it 10 million times. Don't think of it later. Don't put it off. Don't procrastinate. Touch it once. You're going to find that you get a lot more of your attention back, right? I mean, if it's worth touching at all, get it done. right? That's how you get more time in your life, is you get stuff done. Hence, my favorite 4-letter word, done. It means it's off my calendar. All right. So hopefully that helps you, because yes, you're going to get lots of inflowing communication, because best known beats best. Again, I've been guilty of not outflowing enough. I've been guilty of not promoting enough. Right. I think a lot of you know I run 4 businesses. I'm a crazy person. Okay. And I'm not here to promote my other work to you. Okay. But there's a saying that customers are good for business, in case you were wondering. Yes, customers are good for business. Well, how do you get customers? Right? You promote, you outflow communication. Now, I will say one other thing about all this is that as you are learning the interwebs and the existence of e-commerce and sales and marketing via technology, some of that email is going to come into your inbox, even if it's not relevant to you, might warrant your attention, just as a voyeur, just as someone who's learning copywriting, right? That's a form of communication. Copywriting means actually writing what goes in the advertisement, what goes in the email. It's all copywriting. When you get your junk mail out of your mailbox, right? They paid copywriters to write that stuff. Okay. Sometimes a lot of money. I know one copywriter who gets $100,000 for one sales letter. One sales letter, $100,000, and you pay in advance. Okay. So that's the level that they're, I mean, you get to a point where you don't get just paid for what you do, you get paid for who you are. All right. So this guy has arrived in that way. But if you read your junk mail with intent to glean, oh, that's a good subject line. They got me to click on that. Why'd they get me to click on that? That's tasty, right? And then you can create another folder in your email client called swipe. This could be your swipe file. So you're swiping, right, ideas. You're not directly stealing, okay, but you can plagiarize a bit. There's nothing new, okay? In fact, Johann Goethe, if you want to get into philosophy, Goethe said all intelligent thoughts have already been thought. All we got to do is think of them again, right? So here's my swipe file. And when I'm lacking ideas on what to outflow, well, let's go through the swipe file. Oh yeah, that's some nice stuff there. Oh, they got me to click on that. Look at that. That's some good copy. Then you kind of personalize and make it your own, right? Big sale this week on the cups and the t-shirts, ladies and gentlemen. Bits and Bobs on sale. Act now, right? Limited edition. Bits and Bobs. We were talking, for those who just tuned in on YouTube, we were talking about Bits and Bobs prior to going live. That is a British thing, apparently, where they do bits and bobs, which means a little of this, a little of that. Now you know. Lana, how do you manage your inbox and everyone else's agenda for you?
I just don't look at it. I'm joking. So yeah, I'm the same. I do put in important emails, I divide them up. But it's interesting you say these, because I do speak to, and I had a conversation with someone today actually about being overwhelmed, and I can't find this login, I can't find that login, and I haven't logged into my program because I'm talking to them and I'm like, okay, you've not logged in, it's gone to the spam folder. So, it's always worth checking in, obviously organizing them, emails, and the overwhelm part of it is quite interesting because, as they all come in, you can actually let that give you a really bad day. And if you do, you might come in, you might get an email from work or wherever you are that's going to put you on that roller coaster of a really bad day. So for me, it's either, check it, don't let, look at these emails, don't let them affect your day. And, if you can, which is a good thing to be able to do. And then, just put them to that side. Don't kind of overwhelm yourself. And then just keep an eye on it. Like you say, clear everything out. Just keep it nice, clean, not overwhelmed, full of junk. And I'm very guilty of that, by the way. My own personal email is absolutely terrible. However, my work, when it comes to business and things, is pristine.
Well, there you go. Okay, so great information from Lana right there. All right. So can we let's say that we've got the intent, and I believe you all do, the intent to be successful in this enterprise. Fantastic. Where can we see anything that you've been successful at this point? What can we see occurred? What occurred was order, right? Success. Hi, Deborah. We'll get to you in just a second. Success is an orderly state. All right. And movement. Things happened. It wasn't a static, right? There was some dynamism there. So orderly movement can render success. All right. So if we're finding that Lana's successful in business because she has an orderly movement of communication, and that her personal inbox or whatever is in disarray, well, can we just go ahead and apply these same policies or strategies that she applies successfully in business to now have success in other personal areas or whatever, right? Of course we can. Deborah, you've got the floor. Hello, my friend.
Hello, John. How are you all doing?
I am awesome.
Well, this is talking about email. Something crazy happened to me about a year or so ago, and I got kind of angry, and then I stepped back. It appeared that I had so many emails that everything coming in went to my trash file. And I was upset about it for a while. And then I said, this is a good idea, because if it goes to trash, most of the stuff in there at 100%, I'll say 80% of it is trash. And so I decided to take a different look at that, would help free up some of my time so I can be more productive by letting the trash stay trash and hope everything goes in there, and limit my inbox by putting everything in a trash folder. And by doing that, I can take and extract from there what is really important. And then those that I don't want to subscribe to anymore, I unsubscribe, because email can be an impulsive thing. You see something, you say, subscribe to it, and then that fills up the time. So yeah, I agree. The bits and bobs can bog you down. And email is horrible. It's treacherous if you're trying to do work, do business. So I manage my accounts with 2 email accounts, one for business and one for personal. And I do not switch them out to different entities, because if you do, they'll just try to flood both your boxes, all your email boxes. So I totally, and that is the only way I can manage, because I'm looking at now, talking about time management, I'm looking more at what we need to do to get balance in your life. And under balance comes time management. But more and more people are thinking about balance. How do you balance everything with work, doing what you love, and then also having the time to do it? So I think that's something we all need to look at. We talk about time management. If you don't have balance in that time, it doesn't work. It's a category under being balanced, under balance. I'll leave it up to the other great minds to speak to it, to your bits and bobs.
Thank you, Deborah.
You're welcome.
Brilliant. All right, drive safe. Yeah, so balance, I heard someone say jokingly or semi-jokingly, balance is that split second I pass over when I'm going from one extreme to the other. There it is. That was balance. You missed it. It was very quick. So, but in all seriousness, right, are we experiencing balance? What Deborah just introduced to us is a way to free up some time and attention. And in her case, it was, well, I guess fortuitously thrust upon her, right, where she just had such unmanageable communications, in this case her inbox, that it couldn't even hold anymore. Next thing you know, everything's going to the garbage. Well, that's an indicator. That's instructive, I think. But now moving forward, we can be deliberate and perhaps proactive about that. What else? What are other areas of life and business and whatever that you could create more order in, and the goal of being not only achievement, but some peace of mind, which we could also say balance. What other areas could you put in order that you no longer are overwhelmed? Lana, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think really important that really helped me personally was a morning routine and an evening routine, actually, because then I know I've got my big wins of the day. So things that I want to get done in my business and that I want to achieve in that day. And then I can write of an evening, done. Your favorite word, but it's a win. You can tick it off a win. So I think in morning routine, and it obviously touches on that in the Miracle Morning, doesn't it? There's savers. I think it really is important to go to get that routine and have. I've got some, actually I'll show you probably another day. I've got some forms that I kind of made out, and it's things that I want to get done, that I want to focus on. So then I'm going to save time, because it's very easy to procrastinate, to be overwhelmed. I mean, I had a funny conversation with my friend the other day. I said, and she was saying, I want everything I want to do, I'm put things in the way. So I want to learn a bit of training, but then I decide to call my mum instead, or actually I'll make a cup of tea and think, well, I need all of these things. And it's, before we actually get through a little bit of training. And then it's just our mind, I think, playing little bits of tricks to, avoid going through the things that you need to do. So if you feel like, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, I've got too many things coming at me, you have your form, your letter, whatever you've written, your morning routine, you've got 3 wins. It might take an hour on each thing a day. That's 3 hours perhaps. And then at the end of the day, if you didn't hit it, and it's in the morning routine, you can put it onto the next one, the next day. I mean, but it's important, I think, to write of an evening, done, and obviously think before you go to bed what you want to do. Again, that is going over your mind, your subconscious of a night when you're sleeping. So it all goes in, deep into your subconscious and helps you, I believe, with that overwhelm, which then brings it down to saving more time. So that's a bit long-winded, but
Sure.
that really helped me.
Thank you, Lana. Great insights from Lana there. Stu in Tiny Township, Ontario. Hi, Stu.
Hey, John. Okay, a couple things about organization. It's kind of a part of the topic here, right? Saving time. One of the things that I wrote down as I was taking notes here is I don't know how many times I panicked trying to find the right Zoom link. So I'm dragging all my Zoom links into Evernote, and I've got, here's my Zoom calls, right? And then I correspond that with my calendar. But organization's not my strong suit. It's squirrel, I'm just, yeah. So anyways, I find that helpful now. I can get the right links. I still don't know if I'm meeting with Adam tonight at 5 o'clock because I can't find anything to verify that. So anyhow, another one is I wrote down Klingons. I'm getting rid of all my Klingons. That's people who suck your energy, and in a lot of cases, they're just calling you to complain about life, right? And I can't do that. I have this actually have a physical thing that I get in my gut when I get around too much negativity. So I got to get away from it. So I'm divesting myself of people that do that with my time. And phone calls. I've got no problem putting in 2 hours on a phone call with a buddy, right? But really, what did we accomplish, right? So I started doing this a while ago. When I call someone up, doesn't matter who I'm calling, I always ask, hey, how you doing? You got a minute? I'm not interrupting you, am I? Right off the bat, get that out, right? So they may have something that they're too polite to tell you about, but they'll bring it up then. And so then I'll kind of summarize, this is what I want to talk to you about, right? And we'll talk about that, and then I'll say, what do you got, right? To see if they have any news. And when they're done that, I'll say, well, that's all I got. You got anything else? Got to go. Get it over with, right? Because sometimes people just have a hard time saying goodbye, right? They don't want to be rude or anything. I just say, that's all I got. You got anything else? Then that seems to work, right? So that's a couple of things that helped me get through the day.
Very good. Thank you, Stu. Good tips there from tiny Ontario. Hey, let's go down under to the land of sharks with Scott and his sharky friends. Hi, Scott.
Good morning. Oh, it's not morning for me anyway. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I divide my time by the way in which I define the tasks that need to be done. In the sense that there are some tasks that have to be done every day, such as exercise, such as, if you're interested into it, meditation, things that you need to do every day in order to get a result long term. So they have somehow they have to be done during the day. Whenever you do them, as long as you do them. And there are other tasks that are long term. Basically, you allocate time to them. You may do a variety of things in that time allocation, and it depends on what you feel at the moment is the most important thing to do, and you go with that, knowing that it may not be a specific task. I mean, today you may, for example, need to learn more about a particular program that you need. Like I spent a lot of time learning about Canva because it was important. So I spent time and I put other things in the business off while I learned that. And in the early stage of the business, I spent a lot of time obviously going through the program and so forth, because that was what I needed to do. And obviously that changes as you develop and grow. But basically I cycle through each day a certain number of hours that I want to allocate to an overall project. But what I do in that time could vary a lot, but it's always moving forward. Okay, it doesn't really matter. To me, it doesn't really matter what I do, as long as I'm doing something and I'm moving forward, and my discernment and my effectiveness always grow. But that's the thing, that there are those things that I give a time allocation to, and there are things that I give a task allocation to. And I find that distinction works very well for me, because I was getting very overwhelmed. I said, I want to do all these things each day in this particular project, say the business, for example. And I wasn't getting it done because I was getting bogged down in learning certain things, particularly at the beginning. And that was very frustrating. So then I thought, right, forget this. I just cycle through. I spend so much time per day. And today, tomorrow, I'll spend the same time per day. I'll cycle through whatever occurs to me as what I need to do at the time. And I find that works better for me, that sort of allocation of time. And I also think too, always, Stu was talking about organization. I think we always need to think in terms, if we can, of systems, trying to improve the system always, because this business and any business will bog down on the details, on steps in the system that don't work. For example, they always say, know where your keys are, know where your essentials are in case you have to get out of the house in a hurry. You have to have a system in order to survive a bush. So down here, you've got to be prepared for bushfires. If you don't have a system, if you don't have a plan, you're as good as dead in a bushfire situation. And it's the same thing with the business. You need to have systems, ways of doing things, so you don't have to think about it. It becomes automatic, so you can focus on what's really important. And the more you can systematize things, the easier your life becomes. So you don't have to spend time looking for your keys. You have to spend time working out basic things, or finding out where a program is, or finding where a design is. You know where they are. Those sort of things, you need to have that shoved under the carpet so you can forget about it and move on to higher level things where the real money is. Otherwise, you just waste so much time in basically confusion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great insights from Scott. By the way, where is that picture? Like, where do you get crystal clear water on a cloudy day with multiples of nearly identical sharks? Where is that?
I don't know, actually. There's something I found on the internet. I just related. I was thinking, there are sharks
where can
everywhere.
I see that? Yeah, I would
It's
travel.
probably in the Barrier Reef, or probably in the, who knows? It could be anywhere.
What kind of, is it like a black and white tipped dorsal fin? What kind of shark is that? I don't know.
It looks, could be a reef shark. Looks like a reef shark or something.
Pretty sharks. Yeah.
Don't tell them that too closely.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, rattlesnakes are pretty cool to look at. Just don't get too close. Dora, how are you, Dora? Let's get Dora.
I'm fine. How are you guys doing?
Great. Now that we're here with you.
Oh, thank you. I believe those are black tip sharks, by the way.
Hence the black tips. Right.
Yeah. Kind of pride myself on my administrative management skills. So I'm very, very organized. I stay on top of all my emails. I have folders for everything. I have literally files for everything. So I pride myself on my organizational skills.
Hmm.
With that being said, I also agree with Scott. You have to have a plan A, B, and C in place in case something goes wrong along the way. In my previous position, I used to base my priorities off of what everybody else needed. But I've learned to, now that I'm retired from that position, base my priorities on what I need and what my new business needs are. Unfortunately, my big hangup is I'm pretty much caught up with all my training. I'm got my Gear Bubble store and everything in place. I've got designs up there ready to go. I'm waiting for my LLC still before I can open my Amazon store and my Etsy store. So I'm waiting on other people. And for me, that's a huge problem. I don't like waiting on other people. I have no patience for that.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to learn how to deal with that. And any suggestions would be highly appreciated.
Sure, sure. Well, I say, I think it's kind of funny for people. I say my favorite 4-letter word is done. I got other 4-letter words I like too, but my least favorite is wait. Least favorite.
Makes me
So,
crazy.
right. So now this isn't an argument for multitasking, because I believe multitasking is a misnomer. It's just shifting your focus again and again and again, thinking that you're multitasking. But I like to focus. However, if there is a stop or a stall due to someone or something out of my control, then I've got to have a contingency plan. In fact, there is in emergency management situations and military and stuff like that, there's things called a PACE plan. PACE is an acronym for primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. So here's the 4 things. Here's the primary strategy. And if that fails, alternate, contingency, emergency. All right. So there's never just one answer. I don't know if that's helpful, and we're running out of time, but something to consider is that if you find a stall or a stop, what's your alternate plan? Food
Can I
for
just
thought.
ask-
Maybe, yes, you could talk, please.
Dora, I was just going to ask, how are you getting on with your listings? Your mug ideas and designs.
I've got about 28 designs up right now.
Because that would be personally my goal. If that was my situation, I would literally just get a Google Doc and then just literally find loads and loads of designs, because once you're in that position to go, and
Right.
get them all up, get the listings, because this is the game, isn't it? It's getting the listings up, finding your winners. So that would be my recommendation.
Right.
Just wanted to say.
Yeah, I went through all the LHS training, and right now I'm going back. Excuse me. Since I'm waiting on the state. Love Florida, by the way. I went back and I'm looking over Adam's clinic videos.
They're brilliant.
So I've started from the bottom and I'm working my way up. So that's where I am right now.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I do agree. I've gotten, and I notice it just more and more every day, just things that I'm doing out in the community or wherever. I'll get an idea and I'll have to write it down in my phone real quick. So when I get home, I can make a new mug.
Yeah.
But everywhere you look, there's opportunity. So
Yeah.
I'll keep at it.
Loads. Well done.
Very good. And Dora, I know you're going through our accelerator program, so you're getting more acquainted with some of the other aspects of this operation, which is pretty vast. I'm looking forward to having a business launch session with you, because I know you're very intentional with this. So anyway, keep showing up.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, that was fun, whatever this topic was. So why don't we get together and do it again tomorrow? What do you think? Yeah, we'll have Karen out here. Of course, I'll be back here with you on Friday for Fun Friday. I think we're going to wear Hawaiian shirts this Friday, and be sure to bring a joke. We got to tell jokes, and somebody's got to have a dog or a cat or a frog or something, because bunch of animal lovers here. So we'll do that on Friday. In the meantime, Scott Kelly is calling for a breakout room. So if you guys are going to reuse this room, as soon as we shut it down, it will regenerate and you guys can talk all day if that's what you want to do. Hopefully you get other work stuff done too. All right, guys. Thank you, Lana, for being